How's everybody going? I think we figured it out. I hope we figured it out. We're gonna give it one more try, and we'll see if this works. Just waiting for Jonathan to join in. There he is. And let's see. Please, Warren Clay, come back to us. There he
Hey,
is. Ta-da!
huzzah!
You're back.
Nuts!
We didn't get to hear all the good stuff that you were telling us. All the good
Sure.
news.
Well, let's see. We toured through the Whitco collection that I got downstairs. I've got some old and some new Whitco, and I came up here where the signal's a little bit stronger, just in case. This time I've actually flipped it off the Wi-Fi entirely, and I'm standing near a window.
There you go.
So,
But hey, that window's not tiki. I
no,
expected your whole
no.
house to be tiki.
Hey, no, up here's a lot more mid-century. Allison decorates upstairs. I decorate downstairs.
All right.
Um,
You got
and
blocks?
yeah. Okay, I'll share one of the things that I shared, realizing that I'm taking my life in our own hands up here. Here's Allison's mug collection, which is much smaller but super cool.
Oh, you got a tiki rug.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was one of the. Let's see where. There's Tony. So
Tiki
that means
Tony, yeah.
there we go.
You got some
And I got some
good mugs
Tiki
in there.
Roll. We got some Al down here. Let's see.
These are those expensive mugs.
Yep. Uh, oh, that's funny. My fans are just like, "Oh, they're live again." I'm like, "Well, okay, yeah."
Get
But yeah,
on there. Get on there.
you know, there's some clock. There's
Okay, yeah, there's a mid-century clock.
and there's a witching house from Brian Fife and a little octopus reading octopus from Red Rocket Farms. So yeah, we just kind of toured some of the non-tiki art.
I love it. You got art everywhere.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, art is life.
That's the way to
Uh,
live, man.
I spent a embarrassing amount of time showing off this section of the new mug because I was like, oh,
Oh, that's your
you
new
know,
mug?
that's part of it, yeah. So you know,
We just
we'll
get
see
that
who
tiny
jumps
little
up and
sneak peek.
yeah, that's this section. I had a talk on horror and tiki mugs and tiki bars last week, and I had a different section that I showed there.
Oh,
So I
man.
saved a section for you guys, just as an exclusive.
It's just like a puzzle.
And I got something next week that'll be the last piece of the puzzle. And
And then you're going to show the full
yeah.
mug
Well, then before too long, it'll be Kickstarter time for the new mug.
within a
Um,
month.
Not impossible. Not
Not
impossible.
impossible.
The mug is designed, and basically, I got to go. It depends on how fast sculpt comes together.
Someone's asking you a
Um,
Lovecraft piece?
it is. We're going back to a Lovecraft piece. This one is actually called "The Wreck of the Hesperus." Oh,
Okay.
and there's the spinny wheel again.
But we can hear you.
Ah, well, good. I don't know if I'm frozen or not. Why did I choose the wreck of the Hesperus? Because I've wanted to do a horror and clay shipwreck mug, ghost ship mug, and that's where it came together for me. Was what if what people thought was a shipwreck was not as much a shipwreck as a monster attack?
Oh, man.
So
I got to
you
see
know,
this.
I'm sure some of the Lovecraft super fans out there already know the theme of the mug.
See, now that's the
But
one I'm going to have to read.
yep.
Because I got to know that mug.
It's going to be a good one. I've got, and we've got some fun ideas for some of the bits that go with it.
I think I saw,
Thank
I
you.
don't know if it was on your Instagram or an interview or something, but you did your first Cthulhu at like 13. You carved one?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's down in the Tiki Bar. Actually, it was carved out of a block of florist's foam, and then covered with gray paint mixed with glitter to make it look like stone.
Okay.
Which, by the way, if anybody gets into carving, green blocks of forest foam are super easy way to start. You can cut it with basically anything. You can mash your fingers into it even.
That's so
Um,
cool. What do I got
yeah.
to do? What do I got to pay you to make a Washington Irving mug?
Uh,
Come on, you got to make my dream a reality.
what I would say is that in the fullness of time, like, nothing is impossible. Now that you say that, it's got some interesting ideas. I tell you where I would start though. Maikai has their Halloween, right?
Yep.
Have you seen the mug for this year's Halloween?
Yeah, it's two mugs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
like
based
a,
on the Beast of Blood from the Blood Island movies. It takes his head off.
yep.
So how fun would a Sleepy Hollow, mug of the Hessian with a removable jack-o'-lantern head or something
And
could
you're
be
the man to
fun.
bring that to life.
Hey, it's all it's another fun idea. I'd have to figure out what the Lovecraftian, like what my horror and clay take on it would be though. Because I try
What
and
do you mean? You're gonna make it like Cthulhu on a horse or on a pumpkin?
well, actually, here's a thought experiment. We'll indulge just for you, right? So what I would do if I decided that I was looking for the way to do that mug, I would want it to incorporate the history of Samhain. Um, I would want it to incorporate some of the stuff about the life of Washington Irving, which I've never researched, so that would be fun. Like, part of why I love the Cask of Amontillado mug so much is because as I was researching that mug, I found out that Poe was into cryptography, like hardcore into cryptography.
Yep.
So I went down this rabbit hole of reading a bunch of cryptography, and then I incorporated it into the mug, into the supplemental materials. Like, to date, no one has decoded everything that was hidden in the mug and the recipe card and all of the supplemental materials.
Oh man, what do we get? What do we get if we solve the riddle?
If you can tell me everything, all right, I feel comfortable saying this because you're not gonna be able to do it because you'd have to get one of the Amontillado labels because we made removable wine labels that matched, right? But if you can tell me all of the in jokes and ciphers on the decoder ring, because it had a decoder ring for that, the decoder ring, the wine label, the recipe card, the sticker, and the mug, then I will mail you one out of my personal collection.
Well, first I gotta find all that stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't say be easy. I did not say it would be easy. And to date, and your work would be complicated by the fact that I don't remember it all, but I've got a key somewhere. I made myself a key because I for a while I had this idea that I would make mugs that had teaching documents with them that you could send to teachers. So that mug actually has like a, back of the book, like if you're teaching the Cask of
Really?
Amontillado and Edgar Allan Poe, then you should, hit this point and this point and this point and this point. Um, and yeah, no, I have fun.
So what you're saying is
So
I just have to get a copy of that. If I can get a copy of
yes,
that.
sure,
So
sure, yeah,
you invited us for a drink in Atlanta.
yep.
So I just have to locate in your house where that decoder is. That's going to be a whole lot easier than trying to figure it out on my own.
You say that.
I
You
say
say that. Because I collect ephemera, so I have boxes and boxes and boxes of nothing but package and paper.
No, no.
Yeah, no, it would be savage. Um, but yeah, Washington Irving, and of course, so if you're doing a Washington Irving Sleepy Hollow kind of mug, you would have to incorporate nods to the Tim Burton movie, or I would have to. And if I was doing that, then that would open all of the visual references to all of Tim Burton's stuff. So there'd probably be some kind of Beetlejuice nod in there because sandworms, I hate them. And yeah, no, I could spiral a good long time on that particular concept.
Good.
Oh yeah, make it come.
We planted the seed. We planted the seed.
Make it come in a custom box that is the Iron Maiden that they killed Johnny Depp's mother in Sleepy Hollow.
Oh man!
So it's like a Matryoshka doll where you open up the Iron Maiden and the mug is inside. Then you take the head off the mug, so you've got the box and the mug and the other mug. Yeah, that'd be fun.
I'm excited to see it. I can't wait.
Yeah, no promises. No promises. But
so the Tim Burton. You mentioned Tim Burton. The video he has on YouTube. I think it's called Vincent.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's Edgar Allan Poe inspired child who's living the fantasies of Edgar Allan Poe.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you would be really good at like a telling. You know how they'll do like I think there's videos of the Telltale Heart on YouTube where you just have like famous people read the story. I want to see you do that.
Oh yeah? What story should I read?
You can choose, man.
Ah, well, that's no fun. Have a reader's contest.
Use Black Cat. People love that one.
That is one of my favorite Poe stories. It's one of the earliest that I read. It was in that first book. Remember we were talking about when we started the book of short Poe, 16 Tales of Terror from Edgar Allan Poe that I got. That is why the Black Cat is on the Cask of Amontillado mug. Because I knew I wouldn't, or at that time, I knew I wouldn't make a Black Cat mug that was just the cat. Now I might. Now I could probably get away with it. So I put the Black Cat coming out of the crack in the base of the Cask of Amontillado mug.
I have never noticed that.
Yep. It is a nod specifically to the Black Cat story. What was it? Which trilogy movie was it? I think it was Tales from the Dark Side that has a feral black cat in it that's a nightmare. I can't remember which one it was.
Is it based on Edgar Allan Poe, or is it?
I don't think it was. And it might be a Tales from the Crypt I'm thinking of. I don't know. Whatever. I watch a lot of horror.
I kind of figured that out.
Hey,
Is there a horror movie that you like hate? That you really?
Is there a horror movie that I hate?
One that you just cannot watch.
Okay, I can tell you about one that I want to love that I still hate.
Okay.
And it's not so much a horror movie, but I want to love Lost Highway, right? Oh no, there is a movie I hate. Freaking Eraserhead.
Oh,
I hate Eraserhead. My buddy Paulie got the remastered set and insisted on, like, we were in a room, we put up blackout curtains, we did the little audio, the video thing that you ran to get the contrast exactly right. It was like an hour of setup to watch this movie. And it was so painful to watch. It was so painful. Lost Highway, I love so many minutes of Lost Highway. Like, every shot is gorgeous. Every conceit is beautiful. The whole of the movie I do not like. Like, just something about the gestalt I don't get or I don't appreciate, or I it's like, there's no other movie where I can point at like that scene was brilliant. That was amazing. That was beautiful. I love that. Oh, that's so creepy. That's weird. That guy's awesome. And then I finish watching the movie. I'm like, I hate that movie.
I don't know. You might feel strongly against me, but you know all the like the stop motion animation Christmas like Rudolph,
Yeah.
Misfit toys and all that. Mad Monster Party. I have the same reaction to that. I've seen it a few times. I want to love it, but I just don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I love watching it because like watching stop motion is amazing. It's beautiful, and it just you can see the work. And I feel kind of the same way about that movie. I want to like it. I want it to be Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah.
Like I want to get like the good wholesome feels that I get off of Hotel Transylvania off of that movie, and I don't.
I would say there's probably been 3 or 4 years where I'm like, you know what? It can't be how I remember it. It's got to be better than that. So I'm gonna watch it again. And then I'm watching it, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I just don't feel it.
Yeah.
Not movies will just strike you that way.
Yeah.
Hey, Rex.
Hey.
For people watching, we interviewed B-Rex a couple nights ago. You can still watch that interview on the Search for Tiki. It's good to see him.
I was totally stoked. I got my my shipping notification for his bar mat.
You got a bar mat?
Yep. Allison's like, you got to get that one. I was like, okay.
I'm 0 for 3. I got to join B-Rex's newsletter list. Apparently, that's the only way you're going to get one.
It works. But yeah, so I just did some glassware for Rum Club in Portland.
Okay.
That is absolutely not horror and clay looking, but I do commissioned work. So if you've got a thing for hummingbirds, you should go to Rum Club in Portland.
Is it out already, or is it coming?
Yeah, it is out. They don't have it up online yet, although he told me they'll put it in the shop in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I got that. I got we've still got Pallid Mask mugs in the store.
Yeah.
And everybody should go buy them all because
we got to make room for that Washington Irving mug.
Yeah. Hey, you laugh, but like that's when you order mugs, you're tied up in inventory, and the faster you sell out through your inventory, the quicker you're on to the next project.
Yep.
But as you say, like I'm hoping to have a sculpt to share. I don't like to go live on Kickstarter before I have a sculpt to share. So I am hoping to have that, within the next 5 weeks or so, possibly earlier. So what?
Who do you go through?
I've gone through various people. I'm going through Monk Tiki this time because I love working with those guys. Yep. I actually love working with everybody that I've worked with for mugs, but that's who I've talked to this time. So that is exciting to me because it's nice. Like there are parts of mug design that are the heavy lifting, and then there's the parts that's like, now I just sit here to wait, and then I get a surprise one day that's like, here's what it looks like, or whatever. So really, so what?
You get scared. You get that box that arrives, and it's got Monk Tiki or Tiki Farm or whatever the company is. When you open it, are you like, oh? So that sinking feeling, or are you just excited?
Well, no, because I've usually seen it seen pictures of it beforehand, and I've done it long enough that I can be like, oh, okay, good. Or, all right, so that glaze is not going to happen. Right? The Cthulhu one, there was one glaze I don't think anybody ever saw, but Allison and I called it Kermit Thulu because it ended up this 50s mint green. And we're like, okay, that's not the way. The Mandalorian says, "This is the way. This is not the way."
That's a special edition.
Yeah, a
That's to be
special edition of
released.
one.
I think I forget which mug it was. Stephen Candy was asking earlier in the questions if you were going to re-release a mug. I don't remember what it was.
People routinely ask. They ask when the next Innsmouth fog cutter is and when the next cask is. And my answer is both of those are gonna happen again. I just don't know when. Because like if I could wave a magic money wand, then
Yeah.
they'd come back at the same time immediately. Because they sell well, people love them, I love them, they're good to hold. And I want to do different glaze things with them than I've done. Like I said, I'd love to see like a full run of the cask in red, for example, or the Innsmouth fog cutter. I've got some ideas, particularly because since we started doing this in like 2012, it's gotten a lot more common for factories to do airbrushed glaze fades and things. So, I mean, I think like a fade on the fog cutter would be pretty cool.
Yep.
And one of these years I'd love to do just a run of everything and just have them dip all of them in gold, or like mail some to Gecko and see if I could beg him to do them in fat lava or something, because that's just
his distress mugs are insane.
Oh my God,
I
right?
love the underwater ones.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I was super excited because earlier this year I got one of the Max's mugs, and I was like, yeah, I got a Gecko. And because I got into it because I love collecting mugs. You put up your contest for things. I'm like, oh my God, I want to win. I'm not gonna win, but I want to win. You've probably got my email address like a million times. One of these times.
Every time I see Jonathan, it's like delete.
Oh yeah, no, I figured.
He's got 600 mugs. He doesn't need another one.
Yeah. I fortunately, turnabout is fair play. So the next time you're ordering from no.
Oh no.
No, I'm kidding. In all honesty, it'll probably be like, oh, I recognize that name. Here, some stickers or something. Because I like to do that because.
No, see, this is what's going to happen is you're going to make the Washington Irving mug. I'm going to place my order, and you're just going to be like, oh, it's going to sell out, and I'm never going to get it.
Oh man, that would. Nah, there's the universe needs you to have that mug. Some way or another, the universe needs you to have that. But yeah, I just I like it. It's interesting. The wreck of the Hesperus has actually been multiple mugs in its development.
How does that happen?
Because, well, it started out as a different mug. It started out as a different shipwreck mug.
Okay.
And then briefly, I repurposed the design in a different form, but like 50% of the design was repurposed for a client that was like, ooh, I want something like this. I'm like, oh, well, I've got half of that. Hold on. And then I was, and then that didn't end up happening. And I was like, well, okay, so I've done more development on this idea. I'll go back to my original shipwreck mug. And then I was like, ooh, but it could be this. And then that's where we got to the wreck of the Hesperus.
So do you do all the sketches for your mugs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you shared those?
No, I tend to keep them pretty close to the vest. Particularly because there are people that are much better, faster illustrators than I am, and that make their own mugs like in their basement, which I do not do.
Yeah.
It's a secondary thing, so I don't have the time or the skills or the infrastructure to I'm not Van Tiki, I'm not Ikambukum, who I love and whose work I collect all the time, but they're much better than me.
You have to do it full time. I feel like
Yeah.
you can't. Mugs are so labor intensive that
Yeah.
doing it
Yeah.
part time, you'd get a run of mugs maybe in 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's why there's if you count all the horror and clay mugs without counting the color variances, I think there are 7. If you include the Wreck of the Hesperus, if you include the color variances, you get up to 13, I think. And then there are the SDs and the ones that I do for Inuhele are interesting because I do the drawings for those, but then John Mulder sculpts and realizes those.
Yep.
So the ones for Inuhele are not horror and clay mugs per se. They're Jonathan Chaffin mugs that have been, sort of concepted and then realized by Ecom Bookum.
Those are some good looking mugs.
They're fun. They're fun. I like them. It's
What was the inspiration for them?
Allison and I were so Inuhele started as it's a made up word first off, right? It's half Samoan and half I forget Hawaiian. I forget, but it roughly translates to cocktail journey, right? Which for a home bar tour we thought would be fun, right? And then when we decided we were going to have a convention, we needed a visual iconography, style. And we decided, well, what if all the garnishes were the inhabitants of this island, which is a weird throwback to there was some little off-brand toy set that my grandmother gave me that had these 2 little tribes of guys. I think they were called Mogs or something. And like one was purple and they looked like grapes and the other was orange. And anyway, so long story short, we're like, all right, well, so we've got, the cherry figures that, basically just they're garnishes. All of our characters are garnishes for Inuhele. And if you look through the 2 years that we've done, you can see some of them. We've got the savage lime who's got Moku, and then the cherries and all those crazy people. But so the mugs are outgrowths of that. Yeah,
So
I did. Well, it's fun. It's just fun, we build our worlds of imagination and we try and bring things out of them to pass around and share with everybody. And so far, nobody's told us to stop. So,
just the opposite. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, we take so much energy from everybody, getting a kick out of it. I mean, if people weren't interested in this project, I'd be doing something. But by now, I would have moved on to it. But people it resonates with people, and they like it. And they tell me that they like it, and it means a lot. Like it's years like this stupid year. Like I would not be getting through it unless people were like, "Hey, man, what's going on?"
We're in the same boat,
Good.
We ended up making a tiki site.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
It's been
I love your site,
but it's also, I think, caused some people to do some creative stuff.
Yeah.
You get through it.
We were talking about it. Professionally, I had to pivot to from traveling and meeting with people role to one where we're doing it all virtually. And one of the things that it's doing is educating and forcing people who would never have moved to digital connectivity in this way to figure out how they can. And that is going to have long-reaching effects as well, to the good, like I've been on Zoom calls with my daughter and my mother and my, father and other states. And, they would not have learned the technology, except now they have. So that is a silver lining. And I get to talk to all of you guys.
What they got to do. And, they say creativity is good. Some boxes can be good because that kind of helps you focus and narrow your ideas.
Well said. Well said.
Very good, man. It has been awesome chatting with you.
Such a pleasure. Sorry for the technical inconvenience.
It's all good. We'll post this video for everybody watching too, so you can watch it in 2 parts.
Awesome.
And we're super appreciative. We did announce the winner of the Creature Feature Tiki Mug.
Yep.
We'll be sending an email to that winner shortly. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And have a happy Halloween, dude.
You too. Happy Halloween. Good luck with the rest of the event.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.